Hello everyone, I'm CrypticFox, and welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved. We've been pretty busy in between videos, and there's been quite a bit of activity down here at the beach. What used to be just a barren beach with a little thatch hut is now turned into this big two-story building that we have, and a couple other people have kind of come down this way as well and joined up. So we have a tribe that has, I think, 5 or 6 people in total in it right now, and I know there's a couple others that are still trying to find their way down here. The beach here is dotted with rafts, but I am going to build a raft of my own today. I could technically use any of these other ones, but I kind of like the idea of building one from scratch. I was going to build some irrigation and some farming plots, but Wolfclaws took care of that already, so we have a couple plots here, though we don't have anything planted in them yet. We have a fertilizer box, but again, not a whole lot of fertilizer in here, though it's nice having the dinosaur on hand. We got that trike we tamed last time here that can produce ample amounts of manure, I suppose, to put into our fertilizer there, although it takes forever for it to actually convert it into the actual fertilizer. But he's been really handy. He's fully stocked with berries. They gather up berries like crazy. And what is that? Is that an Oviraptor? Let's see if we can get our hands on this guy. I did find I've been leveling up quite a bit now. Oh, come on! I got him penned in by the fence. Nice, easy kill. Score. I've been leveling up quite a bit now, and I'm actually able to get the blue supply drops. Oh, I just smashed my own wall a little bit. Just a tiny bit. It's okay. It'll repair. Maybe. No one will notice. Okay, so I am able to get the blue supply drops, so there's one over there actually right now. I just don't have the time to go grab it right now. And I got this metal pike actually from one. It's really heavy at like 10 weight, but it does a decent amount of damage. That's a pretty big step up from the little primitive spear that I had. Oh, just always right at nightfall when I decide to record. So we're going to build a raft today. Or maybe technically we're going to build a raft tomorrow, because I'm going to wait till the sun comes up again. Okay, the sun's back up, and I think it's about time we build our raft. It was a bit of a long night, but I did manage to do some more gatherings, so we have lots more materials to work with as well for the rest of the build. Now, we're going to start off initially with just the basic raft. And then I need to go for a quick little spin, because we have to pick up Blue Jaguar, who's actually just down the beach and looking to join us here. Wooden raft. There we go! We got our very own wooden raft. Now, there's actually quite a few of them down here on the beach, but I thought it would be nice to have one that's my very own, that I can do whatever customization I want to on it. And I think we're going to need a couple different kinds anyway, because there's different types of rafts for different types of purpose. For example, now let me see here. Hold on. For example, you're going to have rafts that are needed for... Let's hide the sail here quickly. First, rafts that are needed for fighting other creatures and things for transporting animals. You can get rafts that are really helpful for having like a mobile taming station and that sort of thing. Definitely when you're riding around the raft is where you'll see the greater proportion of lag, unfortunately. Things load in a little bit slower, and also you end up with like this boomerang effect where you're kind of booting along and then it kind of snaps you back. But let's go find Blue Jaguar. We'll bring it back over, and then we'll do some more building. I'm going to sink the level or the deck of the raft into the raft itself, so that we have a little bit of a lower streamlined build, and we'll see how we make out. Okay, I think we found Blue Jaguar. He said he was going to be over here by these the Galaxy Hunters sign, which we actually saw earlier on when I was playing, I think in the first episode, trying to find a place to call home. There he is. We'll get him invited to the tribe so we can use our stuff as well. So he'll hold still long enough for me to do it. Perfect. All right, let's head back to the camp now. All right, we're back home again. We got another new tribe mate back in the right area. So I think that gets us our tribe up to something like 6 or 7 different people, which is kind of cool. I did recruit a couple of others that were friends of Kriegers. So that gives us a good start anyway. So let's see what we can do to kind of add a little bit more onto this raft instead of it just having the plain basic foundation. All right, the first thing we want to do is center off what we're building here on the raft. We don't want to have this really off-kilter, so The first thing we can do is you just pull out a pillar, and then we grab the tiller, and that will let us center that piece right on the front of the raft. Might have to adjust it a tiny little bit to place it. There we go. So that gives us a good center point that we can work off of now. So that everything that we do on the raft will ultimately be centered. Now, in order to sink the foundations that we're going to put down into the raft itself, so that we have a slimmer line, we're going to have to do a lot of little back and forth work, starting with these little ceilings that we put right on the edge of here. And then we start sticking pillars underneath the ceiling, which will let us place a foundation at the bottom of the pillars. Now, it's going to take 2 pillars in order to do this. Actually, it shouldn't have. It stuck it way up through the top on me. That's not quite what I was looking for. If we snap this on the bottom now, it's actually going to be right on the deck here. Actually, that worked well. Okay, so that kind of sticks the foundation right on there. Now we need to get rid of these pieces here so we can go back the other direction. So we're going to go... We'll demolish these. That give me back a lot of resources. And we'll demolish this. Alright, so now we're going to put a pillar in the middle of this one. And stick some ceilings off of this. So we go 2 out there, and then we're going to put another pillar here, which will let us mount a foundation underneath that. It should set it just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So it's set just a little bit lower, and each time we do it, going back and forth, it's going to get lower and lower, so we can kind of sink it right into the raft. So again, we're going to get rid of this because we don't need it. Unfortunately, this does go through a lot of materials in order to do this, but it does give a much nicer effect when you're finished the raft. All right, so I've got this sunk fairly well into the deck. I don't want it. I don't necessarily want it all the way down into the bottom, but it is sunk in there pretty good, and this will give us a way to kind of cover off the whole bottom of the raft here without having to worry about where the tiller is going to be placed, because the tiller will stick up out through the floor enough that we can still navigate with it. You can actually push this lower so it actually gets completely down to the level of the deck, but I'm not worried about doing that so much. So I do have a bunch of stone foundations we're going to grab, and we'll start to swap these pieces out for stone foundations, and that'll give us a better, sturdier raft than working with the thatch, which we're only really using because it was cheap. Okay, so using the stone now, we can just start swapping up the flooring pieces here, and also merge up all the other pieces all the way around it, so that we have our completed the flooring here. And this will give us a nice good foundation for the raft, and it also sort of protects the whole surface of the raft, because the entire thing will be sunk in the stone foundation. I mean, we're playing on PvE, so there's not really all that much we need to defend our raft from. But it can't hurt to have it defended this way anyway. Alright, so we've got a nice flat surface to work with. And okay, we do want this to be a little bit larger than what it is now, so we've got the basic surface area of the raft, but I want to extend it a little bit farther forward. We only have 2 stone foundations left. Now, what you'll find is you can't put the stone foundations just right onto the raft itself this way. They won't connect side to side. But what we can do is stick a ceiling piece down. I'm going to make a couple more of these, I guess. And then what we can do is we can go underneath and we can stick the foundation under the ceiling piece, and that will kind of merge it into place for us. So now under here, we have to stick it on the underside of the ceiling. No, it's not working. Alright, move that into a little bit deeper water and see if we can stick these under here now. There we go. The trouble was it was actually just sitting in too shallow water. Now, I do need one more foundation here. I don't think I have enough materials in order to make it. I'm going to make that really quickly, and then we'll just get that in place, and then we'll have a pretty good foundation here set up on our raft, I think. All right. We got our last foundation, and we'll put that in place right under here. There we go. So that gives us a little bit of a larger deck as it extends a little bit farther out in front. I believe you can go something like a total of four places in... Oh, I can't get up here now. Something like 4 places in front of the tiller. If we can get on top of here, let's destroy this now. Something, I think it's four places in any direction of the tiller, rather. I think so. You know, you can go a little bit less forward, but no, that can't be right. There's got to be another thing there. But anyway, there is a certain amount of space we have within relation to this tiller that we can build out our pieces. The piece that I did put in here, I guess it did cover up the tiller enough that I couldn't actually navigate with it. So I did pull that out for now. It doesn't really make too much of a breach here, I don't think. And we're going to end up putting some foundation right across the back of here anyway. And that'll give us a larger raft. Okay, so we've expanded the size of the deck by using that same trick we used in the front to make it a little bit longer still. And then we've also added pieces down the side here, so it's a little bit wider. This should accommodate some larger dinosaurs, hopefully. And then a few more pieces at the back that provide a little protection. Now, the one thing I did notice that, for whatever reason, I was able to jump up out of the water onto the deck initially, but then it got to the point where I couldn't anymore, so I just added a little ladder at the back so we can get on. So now that we have a large surface that we can work with here on the main portion of the boat, I want to add a second level onto the boat as well, so that we have a sort of a almost like a living area up top. Ideally something with a cabin, and then we can use that as for a couple things. So I can put some crafting things up there if we're out gathering resources, or if we're fighting dinosaurs, you can also use it as a level that you can kind of retreat up to, and then you're sort of protected from the dinosaurs while you can shoot down at them with arrows or crossbows or whatever. So I do have a whole bunch of pillars in here that we're going to need to add to make this the appropriate height. I'm going to start with 2 high for now, just to kind of gauge the height of it. And then based on how that looks, we might have to add a 3rd one high in order to make it have enough clearance. Because I want to be able to get a decent-sized dinosaur in here. Obviously, we're not going to fit a Brontosaurus or a T-Rex or anything like that. But as long as we can carry some of the ones that are maybe a little bit bigger, then I think that gives us a little bit more flexibility to use the boat. And why didn't that one stick? Alright, I think I might be hitting a little bit of land there, so I'm just going to pull the boat out a little bit farther, and then make sure that it's going to fit right on the base we have here. There we go. Then again, it might even just be lag. Alright, so that's 2 high. I think we're going to go 1 more high. Make this a nice high boat. And one more over here. Alright. This is going to be really tall. like really tall. Alright, so up here now we're going to put ceilings, if I can get them to reach. And that might actually be a bit of a challenge. There we go. That was not the type of ceiling I wanted. I forgot I had a thatch one on me. Alright, so we're going to swap that out for... This might actually be too tall. I'm not sure what the height limit is in terms of what you can build, so I want to be a little bit careful that I don't build something and then find out that I can't put a cabin up there because I just don't have enough height space left. Alright, well, we'll make do with it as the way that it is there, and hopefully it will all pan out height-wise. So these ceilings are the ones I'm going to want to use, the wooden ceiling. I could do this whole thing in stone, ultimately, but I think for now I'm just going to work with wood, and then we can swap it out for stone at a later time. There we go. Just going to cover the whole upper surface like this. Alright, so that gives us a good solid second level. Now we do need a way to get up there, so I'm going to put something at the back here using the hatches. Put that in the middle. And then I've got this little hatch framework here that we're going to use. And then we can just have a ladder that will let us climb up there. That's not what I want. I want this one. so. Alright, so that gives us a good solid second level and gives us plenty of room to build up there, I think, in terms of sort of a workspace. I'm going to grab a couple more materials we're going to need. We're going to need some ladders so we can get up top there. And then I'm also going to put up some railings around here so that we get sort of like a little blocked-in area. But I'm going to leave the center section here open so that we have room to move dinosaurs in and out from left to right. Alright, night's fallen again on me, but we do have the supplies we need, so I'm going to set the ladder up in here so that we can get up to that second floor. And this will tell me pretty quickly, I think, whether things are going to be placed well enough. So I'm going to try and put the ladder right here on this edge if I can. If I can get it to hook there. Oh, it's so hard to get stuff to snap sometimes. Oh, right off the back of the boat. Alright, that is not the placement we want. Alright, even with a single ladder, I could actually just jump. So this will give us our good size second level here. As you can see, I did leave the side on the second level sort of indented a little bit. What I'm thinking is that if we're fighting dinosaurs and stuff, from here you can shoot them while they're close to the side of the boat. Whereas the ones that are like right at the back here, for example, because the overhang is like right even with the boat, if they're right against the side, it'll be a lot harder to shoot at them. So I think this will kind of give us a little bit of a opportunity to shoot down at an angle if they're beside us. And then same thing if they're in front. Not so much if they're at the back, but that's okay. We can work with that. So we're going to need some rails on here just so I don't fall off in the water while we're moving around. So put these in here in place of the wooden ladders. I'll sort out the wooden ladders later. I did have a lot of trouble snapping that second one. I couldn't get it on there ultimately, so I'm going to have to solve for that also. And it might mean just placing the ladder in a way so that it's kind of facing towards the back of the boat here instead. Okay, and I do have some walls here as well. I just want to double check and see whether I can make any kind of a shelter with those. My initial plan was to kind of put something right back here with a shelter so that we can house a bed in it. We'll see how that works out. I don't have a door frame made just now, but this will at least give us an idea whether it will even let us place it. Yeah, okay, so we haven't hit the height limit yet, which is good. Come on. Wow, it doesn't like that placement very much. Oh, it placed it inside out, naturally. Let's try that again. Again, inside out. Ah. Well, ultimately it doesn't really matter, I guess. So we can just stick... I'll stick two of these walls on here for now. Since that's all I have available. Now that I broke up the third one. And then this will basically be where I'll put a little cabin here. And we can have... a bed in here so that if you happen to die while you're out foraging with the boat, then you have an opportunity to kind of respawn back on the boat. And then up in front here, through the middle, I'll probably put some storage containers so that we have places to store things, and maybe I'll put a forge and a smithing table in here so that we can make things while we're on the boat. And then we'll have plenty of storage, the ability to manufacture things. We can get all the way around the outside of it so we can attack things from height. And then in the lower level... we'll have room to have dinosaurs that we can have. There we go. Down here we'll have plenty of room for dinosaurs, and this is getting really dark. Plenty of room for dinosaurs that we can haul around. This should handle most of the dinosaurs we're going to wind up having tamed, which I think will work out great. And overall, I think this will be good for our first raft. Now, as I said, we're going to have to build probably a few other ones to have like a mobile taming station and that sort of thing, but this one should work pretty good as a multi-purpose mobile base kind of thing. Obviously, if you're playing in PvP, we're on the PvE server here. If you're playing PvP, this is probably not going to suffice because it doesn't leave you with any kind of defense. It's a really open design, and is not something ultimately that would work very well if you're playing against other players. Now this, you can see this is super high, and even with the camera angle, you can't go high angle obviously with this boat because you end up seeing pretty much just the whole upper deck. But because of the way it's constructed, if you keep the camera low, you can still see where you're going, and control everything this way. So I'm going to do a little bit more in between videos, just kind of add some amenities to the ship so that we have everything we're going to need to be able to use it as a mobile base. And then next time we come on, I'm going to hopefully gather up a few people, and we can go out and hunt down some dinosaurs, have a little bit of fun that way, and make a little bit more use out of our boat. So we can use it to gather supplies and maybe go hunting for some of the higher level supply drops as well, so we can get some better equipment that way. But thanks everyone for checking out the video. Hope you enjoy these and you'll come back and check out some more. I'm as always CrypticFox. I'll see all of you next time.